Good morning, Frank, the Old Town Coleman Center. It's January of 2025, and I'm in beautiful Vancouver, Washington, and I'm about to make a video I think most of you are going to really enjoy. So why don't you go get yourself a cup of coffee, watch my intro, and when I come back, we'll meet the owner of Old Coleman Parts and open that garage door and see what's going on inside. Be right back. And here we go. Well, let's meet this guy right here.
Morning.
This is Rob from Old Coleman Parts. He's the guy that, well, he supplies everything that we would ever need for our Colemans. So we're going to take a tour of Old Coleman Parts and just follow Rob around. He's going to talk and let us know about his business.
Oh boy, here we go.
Following you.
Could start with a warm cup of coffee.
Let me see your cup. That's a nice cup.
Yeah, it's one of our...
OldColemanParts.com is where you can buy them. All right, what do we got in here?
Oh, this table here is our incoming unknowns. We have to identify the parts and get them into the store. Could be, who knows what we'll find in each one of these. But
right.
Here's our glass. We have new glass and used glass.
These are old globes down here?
Yeah, these are 220 globes. Pyrex originals.
Okay.
And whatever we end up getting in collections or wherever it ends up
right
on that.
And you even service the Batman lantern, huh? That's nice. Who made that for you?
A friend in Minnesota, Dean.
Dean. Okay. Okay, lots of globes.
This wall here is our new from Coleman Parts.
So this is the stuff here that Coleman is still making.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, let's.
We have roughly 80 to 90 parts that Coleman still makes.
Very well organized.
You'll see on our website when you order a part the number, say C11, and then this is what we would sell you for C11. So
that's right. That's
what the numbers mean.
Okay.
You'll see that throughout the store.
Okay. So when they see a number on here, that's going to correspond to what they find on the website.
Right. That's an inventory number for us on the end of the description of the part.
Right.
Along the wall here, we have our generator tubes, packing tubes.
Those are awesome.
Yeah. Here's a small pile of the packing for valves.
What are these right here?
These is just a small plastic tube with a sticker on both ends that protects it for shipping. One of these are inside.
Okay, just one. Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, they'll get smashed in the mail when we send them. And down below, we have a few different kits.
What do you mean kit?
So this is a kit for a 220 and a 242 and a 275. We group together parts for a kit.
Yes. What are all of those?
Those are glass globes that we get new from Coleman.
And they are the little ones, aren't they?
Yeah, those are for a 200, 242. The globes next to that are NOS globes for a 220. They're out of Germany.
What are these?
They are the same thing, but out of USA. They're NOS old parts.
They're not making 200A globes anymore?
They are.
They are?
Yes. Coleman's stopped making them for a while, and now they're back.
Wow, that's awesome. Uh-oh, we got some activity going on here at the desk. We'll come back to her in a little bit. She's busy, so we're not going to bother her. And This is Rob's son, and he doesn't talk, so.
Yeah.
Not much.
This is Duncan. He's packing up boxes. Here's our this year's patch. We got a few of them here.
Oh, yes.
So
Where's the display with all 15 patches?
it is missing currently. I have them all out or put them in a new frame. So
Oh, okay. So, but you do have one of every year, right?
I do.
How many people have a collection of them? Do you know?
Well, I think Archie does, and maybe about 5 others from what I've seen. But I'm sure there's other folks out there that might have the full range.
Right.
Larry the cucumber.
Yep.
And a propane vent.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Right on. Did you actually find it that way?
I made it that way.
You made it that way.
My 12-year-old son made it that way. This is the S section, which stands for small parts.
Mm-hmm.
We have a variety of, gaskets to used parts to reproduction parts that are made.
Okay. And these here are the reproduction stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, you can see that nice, shiny, pretty brass.
Some sell pretty quick and others don't. You get a little bit of dust on the ones that don't sell too quickly. But
Those are valve wheels for the 536 stove? Is that what that is?
1950.
Yeah.
We got 3 different colors here. We got darkest, medium, and light.
Right. And these are reproduction here, right?
Yes, for the 502s.
Yeah, it's a nice reproduction too. They always get burnt.
Some of the used parts are down here in the green section. And then pretty much reproduction from here on up.
Okay. Gaskets. Not O-rings. Gaskets.
Well, we have some O-rings here.
Yeah, huh? And they go where O-rings belong, not where gaskets belong. These little guys,
The pips.
the pips, for your NRV for the 242 and the 243, if I can get one out. They're just
They
a
also
little
work in the
piece-
1950 stove.
Do they?
Yep. I believe some of the pip holders in some of the different appliances get swapped around. Sometimes people have a 1950, but somebody has put in a 1942 pip, like this little guy, and it's slightly smaller, and
Right.
sometimes they're just flat out hard to get.
That might have. I didn't realize you had two different size pips.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, you
Yeah.
know, 50, 60 years, you can never tell what happened to an appliance.
Right.
Someone worked on it,
Yes.
and they didn't always do it right.
Yeah, the NRV valves are being changed out to North Star check valves.
Right,
It seems
right.
to be a popular thing.
Yeah,
Since
and that's
they're
just a
hard to
check
get to
valve with a
NRV.
Schrader valve in it, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Okay.
So we come down the aisle here. Well, here's our current packages for the day going out. We're just got started.
And keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that today is Sunday, and they're open 7 days a week in this store.
This whole first 2 shelves are reproduction parts, generators, and just various things that you might need. The second 2 are used parts, pumps and valves.
So let's start with the reproduction stuff, because this is very interesting down here. These are all reproduction generators.
They are, well, they're reproduction parts, not all generators.
This is a reproduction
It is.
vaporizer.
Yep,
Wow,
for 530.
look at that. Look at all those generators. Holy cow. What fun. And these are more reproductions.
Yes, all the way down.
Reproduction 200A fuel and air tube. That's interesting. Reproduction bales.
Yes.
Wow. Are those the only bales that you have? Reproduction made?
Well, we've got the 200, which
Oh,
is steel.
I just walked
And
right
we've
by
got
it.
the stainless 202,
Right.
a 242, and a 236 or 237 bale.
Good to know. It's amazing the amount of things that you have that have been reproduced.
We used to have a check valve tool, but our provider has retired.
Ooh, what's this? Nice. Having done this for a number of years myself, I would really like people to understand how much money has to be invested to provide this service. I mean, look at these generators again. There's a lot of generators there. And they had to outlay the money to get it all here for you guys to buy. So that's why I definitely encourage buying this stuff, because you can just imagine how much money is sitting in this shop. All right, let's go down to this bottom row, because this is the exciting part. At least I think so. So explain the process of what you do to get all this stuff.
Well, a lantern or a box of parts comes in, we have to identify it, whatever the part might be, and then knock the dust and dirt off of it, make it fairly presentable.
Right.
And categorize it, take a picture of it, put it in the store, and decide on a price.
Right.
So that's the steps for every used part. And the conditions are always different. You never...
Right. And that's something I had asked Rob about earlier this morning. How, you know, if somebody orders a 200A ventilator, you don't just pick one out of the box. They will be able to pick the actual number based on the pictures on the website, and then that is the actual ventilator that would be sold. So if you get U850, this is the ventilator you're going to get.
And then we constantly having to fill up the empty spots.
Right.
The big boxes, big bags for big items. You know, we have vents with the number. I'm sorry, tanks, founts. And then
So the same thing with those. They're all numbered, so if you buy one off the website,
yes,
you're going to get exactly with the picture you see.
that's the goal. We have hats that we have put together, embroidered in Idaho, a small shop.
Nice.
And we have some fount bumpers.
Oh,
These used to be full, but the guy that makes them for us, he can't keep up with the amount of people that would like to have these.
grills.
If you need a 425 grill, we got you.
Yeah, yeah. There aren't any of them out there, that's for sure. Oh, coffee cups.
Yeah.
228B. And
Over here is the 220.
yep, there's the 220B. Beautiful cups.
These are globe wraps, like for traveling or similar.
That's awesome. Nice.
The reproduction of what Coleman made long ago.
Right.
We've got all different sizes and colors.
Yeah, let's step over here and we will see what's going on over at the administrative part here. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Who are you?
I am Nicole.
Hi, Nicole.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. What are you doing today?
Today I am doing some customer service and putting parts in the store. And that's for today.
So you say you're putting parts in the store. Can you describe
Yes.
that process?
So we have all the parts over here that are incoming.
Okay,
from
incoming means
Just
used or NOS
Yep.
vintage parts.
Yep, either
Okay.
used or NOS.
Okay.
And then I identify what the parts are by either part numbers on the outside of the bags or doing my own research. And then I assign it an e-bag number, put a description, figure out a price, and then they go on the shelf in the store.
How do you come up with pricing?
That's the hard part. But usually looking around, seeing how much prices are everywhere else first, and then trying to come up with a price based off that.
Sure.
But
Okay. So that's what you're doing now. What else do? You talk on the phone to customers.
I do. I talk to the customers on the phone and answer emails.
We got a pretty green cup here. Oh, we got
Oh,
somebody,
yes.
we got somebody attending the cup too.
Howdy, howdy.
Sir, what is your name?
My name is Duncan.
That's right.
I'm the guy that sits here, pulls orders, and drinks coffee.
And you're Rob's son.
I am.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so you are pulling orders today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Who's next?
We got a big stack of papers here at the beginning of the day. We got Mitch Potts, who got a C21 288 valve assembly.
So Mitch Potts needs a new valve for his 288. Okay?
So right over here, C21.
Okay.
Check it off that I verified it. Give him a big old fat smiley.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Yep.
Okay.
And then he's got a 1 on his paper signifying it's the first order of the year, so he gets a patch. And there it is.
Mitch Potts, you'll have your order in a few days. Okay, so you've packed those orders and you have these ones here.
Yep, those are everything done, waiting to be picked up.
So all of these have been packed up and ready to go on Saturday and Sunday.
Yes, sir.
And UPS and the mail service will be here Monday.
Correct.
Just amazing. So Rob, why don't you tell us all how you got yourself into this mess?
Oh boy, a couple years ago in the middle of COVID, I had a job working in Portland, Oregon. I was a manager of a company there, a construction company, and handwriting on the wall was that I disagreed with the way the direction the company was going, and I wanted to find something else to do with my time. So I didn't look for a lantern company, but I ended up finding the lantern company.
How'd you find it?
Of all things, Craigslist. I'd been looking around for a business to buy again since I've been self-employed before.
Right.
And I came across Mike Mers. He and I hit it off, and when I first called him on a Friday night here in this building, I talked to him and I asked what the company was, and I just couldn't believe it. It's, really? You'd make a living doing that? And the next day was Saturday, and I went up and visited with Mike, and we got along fine, and I had quite a bit of vacation time saved up. So over the next few months, I drove up there and used my vacation time, and I worked with him in the shop and trying to understand what it was.
Right.
And,
How long did it take you before you said, okay, I'll do that?
from March until June.
About 3 months.
June 5th is when we finally pulled the trigger, and I was very happy not to have to commute anymore. It would be sometimes over 2 hours a day just to get to my job. Yeah.
Oh, and in Portland of all places.
Yeah. And I'm so blessed to have all this happen, and literally my commute is getting my coffee cup and walking out to the garage. So.
Right. This was what, 3.5 years ago, you said?
3.5 years ago,
Okay.
June, yeah.
And what was your experience with Coleman prior to 3.5 years ago?
Almost nothing. I had some problematic stove and lanterns when I was a kid growing up, maybe 10, 12 years old, and didn't have a dad teaching me how to use them. And so I didn't really do much with them. And then I found a propane stove. That was easy. You put the tank on and it would
Right.
light very easy, and you could do what you needed. But I kind of moved to flashlights and just use that for my camping. And so I honestly didn't know what a generator was or any of the other parts for a lantern 3.5 years ago.
But you do now.
I do. I've been drinking from a Coleman fire hose for 3.5 years here.
So tell me about that process. I mean, I remember what happened, how I got into this, and it was pretty terrifying actually. So once you pulled the trigger and you realized that you had a monthly payment to deal with, what's the feeling? What were your thoughts?
So Mike, who sold the business to me, was so gracious over the next year, or even till today if I needed.
Right.
He would help me answer questions and educate me and teach me the things I didn't know and understand. And at first, man, I didn't know anything. I remember having 21 customer phone calls and emails I had to process and deal with, and I just honestly didn't know the answer to it in the midst of a new business and all the things going on. And Mike stepped in and just took care of them all for me a few times.
Right.
And slowly over the time, Mike, what's the generator for this? And just so many different things. And we had a limited amount of information and diagrams at that time. Since then, I saw the value in the diagrams. And
Right.
boy, I just was a vacuum sucking them all up, and we put them online now. So what a nice change and resource to be able to help people figure out what they need and answer questions.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
what's the future hold?
I'm going to do this till I'm dead.
Really? You think so?
I think it's the best job ever. I don't have any intention on retiring. And,
Right.
I
Well,
think-
doing this, it's not really a job. It's more fun than it needs to be. I know.
Well, the customers I deal with are great. Everybody in the lantern world seems to be just great. Handshake kind of folks. And,
Yep.
my previous work with construction, you always, it's just a very different environment. And I'm so thankful to be hanging out with real people. And
Yes, lantern Coleman folks most of us seem to be cut out of the same cloth.
doesn't
We all-
matter your background.
Nope. Doesn't matter where you're from.
I've attended several of the gatherings, the Gettysburg gathering, and around the Northwest here, and one in California, and over the last 3 years. And it's just been great. Every time you go to one of those events, I'd encourage anybody to go.
You bet.
You'll find that it's just a nice, warm group of folks who share a cup of coffee or a can of beer or whatever and admire each other's
Stuff.
stuff.
All right, there you go. Now you know what goes on around Old Coleman Parts. Rob, do you have anything to add?
Nope.
Okay, well, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. You can find me at www.oldtowncoleman.com. And in the meantime,
Keep them burning.